these two players, as stated, very similar rounds. I would say PinkKittyRose had a bit tougher getting here, went 2-1 in both the round of 128 and 64. And also in her Swiss bracket had to be two players who also qualified for the round of 128.
Yeah, that is a very good point. So she's definitely come a long way to making to this point. And yeah, we are getting this race started.
Just a little sample, 20 rupees. We'll need to pick some of those up for that bottle merchant early on and very early match check, as we saw it with the green pennant in Desert.
And I believe the other two dungeons were crystals, and I want to say the Eastern Palace was a red crystal, if I'm not mistaken.
I do not believe that you are mistaken.
Yeah, that's good. And yes, we have a bomb start, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the bomb starts are always very interesting. It's, well, those bombs are not really needed, but
nope.
It's all about knowing the right setups to utilize these bombs. But at this level of play, you would imagine that they know how to do it.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see like both runners having like a practice ROM, or not just a practice ROM, but just like, you know, a ROM save of a bomb start where they can just kind of practice that, because I'd say it is probably the most difficult escape variant, just because of how, I don't want to say inaccurate, but you really have to time those bombs well if you want to get the kills, and you have to really watch your health as well.
Oh, definitely. And PinkKittyRose did a very interesting thing with the bushes. Normally you just lift up the 3 bushes. Sometimes you delay the second and third so you can use them to kill a guard. But she didn't do that, and instead lifted up a 4th bush to kill a guard. And I've not seen anyone else do that. I also have not seen the hammer there before.
I have not either, so guess we don't have to worry about ammo anymore, and we have plenty of bombs for not just the escape, but also just Kakariko and just the rest of the light world, so we are good to go. Don't have to worry about bomb farming at all.
Yeah, the only thing they have to look for now is just some more rupees for that bottle merchant. There is 50 you can get in Kakariko from Blind's Basement and the well, so you only need 30 more.
So yeah, honestly, a really good start so far for this escape. Hammer can be a bit inaccurate at times, and hello, silver arrows also found in this escape.
Yeah, this escape is pretty stacked, I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
And still, these are very nice items, but in terms of actual progression at this point in time, they don't unlock anything. The hammer, of course, one of 3 pieces for Darkwill, but we'll need to find those other pieces.
At this point, though, I imagine they're just kind of more focused on just getting out of escape, because there's a lot of Sphere 1 locations to check, so they're probably not really thinking about progression right now, just kind of making it through this always required first section of the game.
Yes, doing the standard opening as to speak, you do the escape, you go check Woods Kakariko, maybe do a Lumberjack with that South Shore area, and then from there on out, if you haven't found anything, usually Sahasrara Eastern Palace, but at that point, you likely will have something.
Yeah, definitely. So while we're leading Zelda to the Sanctuary here, I guess we'll go ahead and just very quickly look at the runner sprites. PinkKittyRose using Unica from the East series. And WillardJBradley, true to his name of hating Mondays and loving lasagna, is playing as his favorite Garfield sprite.
This ever-changing sprite meta, but to my knowledge, I don't really think either of these are top-tier sprites, not up there with, say, the Boo.
Yeah, it's no Kirby sprite, but that's just my own personal opinion.
I feel that one is biased.
A little bit, yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit that.
I just add something here with PinkKittyRose decided to skip out on a 5 rupee drop earlier from a guard. Stated still need to find a little bit more rupees before Kakariko, but seems rather confident that she will find it along the way anyway.
Yeah, you gotta look at it. I mean, there's potential tree pulls in our future, and in Kakariko alone, like, you have the 10 chests that you'll definitely go by as soon as you get to Kakariko, and there's also, like, some rupee pots in those rooms too, so, you know, it's a very good chance they'll get the 100 before then.
Yeah, there is 50 in Kakariko that you can get along the way to the Bottle Merchant. It just seems like PinkKittyRose wants to get done with this escape as fast as possible.
And, this could just be her respecting her opponent here. She knows that Willard has a lot of experience with Link to the Past Randomizer, so wants to save any bit of time that she can in order to get that advantage on him, so I can definitely understand that.
The rat is behaving nicely today.
Very nice.
Of course, fully stacked here on bombs. Do you think we may be seeing someone decide to do the upper half as well on this room?
Yeah, I've seen runners do that, and that does seem like a good idea. And we do get 50 rupees in here, so that's Kakariko pretty much doesn't have to worry about as far as the bottle vendor is concerned.
Yeah, this escape has given them everything they need. I mean, no boots, hookshot mirror, or something like that to speed it up, but besides that, pretty straightforward escape.
Yeah, definitely both going to be reaching the Sanctuary Room about the 6-minute mark, which is really, really nice. So definitely a good run by both runners here.
And this final chest will have the final item. Not really what they're looking for right now. And okay.
Ooh, interesting. Route divergence here. I think she's going to go the back way up through Kakariko, or, we could even see a further divergence. She is going straight for the dam. Wow. I'm very invested in this play right now.
I'm always a big fan of players going out of the way to do interesting routing decisions, and this is certainly one of them. Are we gonna see pond into a Gina's cave?
We could. I don't know. This is really up in the air right now. I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen.
Did see a tree pull and the crab 5 rupees. It's important lumberjack check here, just some more rupees.
Yeah, I don't see us beating Aghanim for that. We may need to for Dark World access, but that's still, we got a ways to go before that even becomes relevant.
And the boomerang will be picked up here. Some players do opt to skip that, and I did predict the Gina's cave check.
Wow, okay, I really hope this is something just to kind of, really just place some major, I can't even think of the right word, but just making this play really, really worthwhile. That'd be cool to see something here.
The Moon Pearl and the shovel in the forest, meanwhile.
Okay, so that's another Dark World item for Willard.
But these are still places that Pink is going to go back there. She's gonna visit these places. She's just doing this right now and saving and quitting after seeing what the Gina has in store.
Ooh, just a bomb upgrade though.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Is she gonna continue now to the South Shore, or will she check?
She is, okay.
Wow, this is truly something.
And it is interesting. She could be in a position where, she gets that Moon Pearl in the forest, and then that could be her final Dark World item. She may find the gloves down here, and then she could just go straight to Dark World from there. So that could be a really, really good play if that works out.
And this is certainly a very different way of doing it. I have seen this way of doing the pawn into Gina, save and quit to South Shore like this, but always Kakariko first, not in this order. Doesn't seem like Willard has found anything yet in Kakariko, as these Moldorms are not being very nice.
Yeah, not really. Down to just 2 bombs here. Does happen to get... Okay, cool. Got the rest of the Moldorms down, thankfully.
Wait, Medallion Cave? And Lamp Cave and Fire Cave and what?
Wow, okay, that had some items.
Yeah, 2 things that does fire and 2 things that does medallions, and boomerang in the wrong direction, sadly, for the full magic pickup.
Okay, just a bomb upgrade from the bottom merchant here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Kakariko has some goodies. Oh, that being, you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, because we are on the very dangerous South Shore here, where the crabs are literally the owners of this domain. If you get into a fight with them, even with the blue mail we have, they'll do 1 heart of damage. So has to be kind of careful while going through this.
Oh, very nice boomerang strats here. Just the final one. There we go. It's not often you get to see the boomerang used that liberally. Some players just don't even pick it up and just kind of leaves it there.
Yeah, boomerang can be pretty handy, especially when you don't have a sword. Just kind of gives you something you can stun enemies with, and you know, if you have a way to destroy those enemies, that's a stun prize you can get as well. So it's definitely an underrated item for sure.
And Pink is just going all in on this. No, I am not going Kakariko. I'm gonna start off here by checking what's on the island. Willard hasn't found anything in Kakariko. The library was just a bomb capacity upgrade, like the island. She's gonna buy bombs here.
Yeah, the only thing Willard's found in this area is literally just the Moon Pearl and some rupees, which could help out with, you know, Zora coming up here soon.
And the shovel.
Oh, well, there's a sword upgrade right there.
Sword, shovel, Moon Pearl. Well, we'll need that Moon Pearl. Likely we'll need that sword.
Yeah, like you said, we do have that shovel, so we can go right over here and check up the dig spot. So that's nice.
But is Pink gonna go straight into Eastern after this? It's a crystal dungeon, and it's a lot of other item locations she can check.
If you find the bow here, I say go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but will you? No. She's not going for it.
Okay, I think she's finally gonna... Yeah, I think she's finally gonna double back for Kakariko to get all she missed.
But looking at the items, we've checked a lot of item locations. There must be progression in Eastern, right?
Yeah, because we don't even have... Like, at this point, we need either the cape or another sword upgrade to put Aghanim in the logic. So, you know, Eastern is really the only logical play we can make right now, at least in terms of what we know. Because, you know, there could be something you could get from fake flippering and, you know, stuff of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely, if we're gonna talk sequence breaks. But in terms of logic, there must be something over in Eastern. The Genius Cave is checked, there is nothing in the Sora region that's available, no Dark World access, no Death Mountain access.
And yeah, Aghanim's Cave was checked. One of the first locations we actually saw, which is kind of weird saying that, but yeah, we have seen Aghanim's Cave already.
And because Willard here going into Eastern, this is going to work out in his favor. He actually did skip the South Shore area still, which is really bizarre to me. These are interesting routes we're seeing here.
Yeah, really. And, you know, you could almost kind of equate that much similar to PinkKittyRose kind of heading away from the Kakariko area. Could just be taking a gamble. And, like, these are all early areas that you'll probably check at some point anyway, so... Just trying to maybe gain a leg up on your opponent.
Yeah, definitely. And Eastern Palace has had this weird progression in this tournament. Sometimes you just go in it and there's an item regardless of if it's a crystal or a pendant. And then I feel like players have kind of started to move away from the early Eastern plays.
It will be interesting when the next version of the Randomizer does release, and just kind of, you know, starting to see how the meta changes in every single version, because literally in every single version there always seems to be like some kind of play that ends up being more valuable than another. And it's really interesting to see how that evolves. But there is the Power Glove, so Willard does have his Dark World access now.
Dark World access, Death Mountain access, Sora access. All the things that those gloves opened up.
Yeah, and he'll need to choose what his next direction is going to be because of that. I'd say Dark World probably would be the best idea, just because, you know, kind of those other one-offs you mentioned, like Zora's only like one item right now, and Death Mountain technically only like 2 or 3 items. So, yeah, I'd say that's Dark World's probably the way to go at this point.
Well, for him, Death Mountain isn't even in logic because he doesn't have that lamp.
That is true, yeah.
That's just another thing that persuades you to go for the Dark World, more items in logic.
For sure.
I will say I have seen players, when they get Dark World access, that they still sequence break up to Death Mountain.
Yeah.
But in that situation, they have East Death Mountain access, which is not the case here.
Right, that is definitely a true statement. Because getting through that dark room up to Death Mountain, not too difficult, especially for these runners. It's probably one of the first dark rooms you'll learn as a randomizer runner, so it's a fairly easy sequence break to make, and not too punishing if you happen to find progression up there, because you're still thinking about those early game locations anyway.
So where is Willard going to go here with the Dark World? He could go start at Link's house, do the pond, and then enter Dark World and do Hype Cave. Which is a really weird thing to say, but he could do that.
That's 5 items right there, so yeah, I would definitely consider that for sure.
Now, normally I'm not a fan of starting with Hype Cave. I do like to finish with that because it transitions very well into the pyramid, which is a bit out there unless it's an Aga 1 seed. But in this situation, since he hasn't done the pond South Shore area, that seems a bit more beneficial.
Yeah, I can agree with that, definitely.
It is these out-of-the-way routes that are changing things, and where are you? Okay, where are you going, Willard?
Well,
you're gonna skip the pond?
I think he's just, doing his South Shore checks, it looks like. Doing the, because he doesn't have the mirror, so it's going to be a little harder to route these in if you go straight to the Dark World, so, just in case the mirror's here, you can grab that and pick that up. You'll also get the lamp as well, so.
And we'll get the lamp and both medallions in here.
And that blue mail, and, going to Dark World, blue mail is a good thing to have.
They are only sitting on 6 hearts. And as Pink has realized, there's nothing in Kakariko, has to go into Eastern Palace.
Yeah, gonna have to kind of take a bit of a double dip of this area, and eventually another dip of Eastern, because we'll not be able to complete it. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you kind of don't want to go to Eastern because you don't have the means to finish it, but then you might have to go back in just for that progression anyway.
Wow, Willard doing the mini Moldorm Cave into Pond, and then it's gonna go into the Dark World. I've never seen this route before, but this is the one time when this is the route to make.
Yeah, for sure.
It will leave out Ice Star Cave. We know there is nothing there, but that could be a tricky location to route in later if it comes down to finding that one important item to continue.
Definitely.
At this point, we can also say that double dipping Eastern Palace is required by the logic.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, because literally that Power Glove was the only way to get to the remaining Light World locations, so yeah, there's no way that you could have done this in one shot.
And now we're just gonna sit back and wait for Hype Cave. Imagine we'll be seeing a map check first. Turtle Rock Swamp with the 5 in ice.
Interesting. Oh, and PinkKittyRose grabbing that Power Glove and immediately just piecing out. Gonna be a good play for her, because this will kind of catch her back up with Willard here a little bit.
She may feel that she is a bit behind since she did have to go back over to the eastern area. Just trying to save a little bit of time with a small gamble.
Yeah, definitely.
So our glorious Hype Cave, shall you for once return to glory, or will you be the way that you have always been?
I'd say just a 2 out of 10 just for the heart container, because, I mean, you still want to have health at this point in the game, but yeah, that wasn't too good.
Well, it's the fewer hearts you have, the more they matter. And as I said, the difficulty of routing in Pyramid when you start here at Hype Cave. Seems like Willard's gonna make that play already. And Catfish is in logic. It's just that that's a very long way to walk.
Yeah, but you know, if that catfish has something, you know, it may not hurt to get it done early. You'd hate to leave that alone for a long time.
Always do prefer to do that with the mirrors. You can go straight into Sora. In this situation, though, not having the flippers kind of move away from that. There's our first bottle.
Okay, that's actually good for early Dark World exploring. And, of course, it'll give an item on Sick Kid as well.
He could bottle glitch in Palace of Darkness.
He could. And looks like he is heading in that direction, not going to Catfish.
I wonder if this is a change on the fly. He was planning to go Catfish, but no, get bottle. I'm gonna do pod instead.
Well, you look at his heart count, and he sees that red potion. He knows about the bottle glitch, so it's like, this could be a way I could heal up a little bit, check some locations, and, maybe get an advantage if I play my cards right with that bottle glitch.
As a quick dig, you would like that if you're running 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And rupees are no problem this seed. They found plenty of 300s already.
Yeah, and there's plenty of rupees you can get in Palace of Darkness, for example. So, and the two biggest expenses, Palace of Darkness and Zora, are pretty much covered at this point.
Yeah, and since Pink decided not to go up towards the pyramid, it's gonna make the more traditional entrance into the Dark World here at Kakariko.
And, if this Palace of Darkness play does not pay off for Willard, that will be really advantageous for Pink Kitty here because, she'll have kind of a bit of a small lead. Again, calling leads in Randomizer is always a tough thing to do because you won't know literally until closer to the end, but still, just in terms of this general progression, she'll be kind of in a slight lead.
And just in general, because of the way that the players have routed this, and it's continuing to have these diversions, very difficult to tell. Pink Kitty could find something here, Willa could find something there, and
right.
It'll be really hard to see.
It does seem like Pod is not bow locked though, so we can actually go through here and find a couple of items.
In Pink, starting off with Skullwoods, has definitely developed to be the first point of entrance here. It's gonna start off with the middle chest, actually.
Interesting.
I don't really mind this if you have the Cane of Samaria, but she does have the boomerang, and so can make this room a little bit easier. Ooh, the flute though in Palace of Darkness.
Ooh.
Flute is required for Mr. Meyer, and besides that, it's just movement at this point, but pod play has to be made at some point. Oh, and the midst of Skullwoods!
Ooh, wow. Very nice. See, like you said, two really important finds in both locations.
Oh, this keeps on happening to me when I do commentary, and Willard here with the bottle glitch. It's gonna sequence break this bow locked area. This is now a massive play here in Village of Outcasts, since you can do the entire Smith chain. No mirror, so it's a long trip, but you can go for that. You have the hammer for the pegs.
That's true.
I would definitely say at this point that the myths are more valuable than the flute, but the myths do also have that problem in it. It unlocks a lot of locations that you may not want to visit.
Yeah. It's basically number of locations versus slightly faster movement in the light world is kind of the difference between what these two have found at this point.
And this continuation up here to Bumper Cave has also become the standard way of doing this Dark World route. Skullwoods, Bumper Cave, and then back into Village of Outcasts.
Mm-hmm. Willard setting up the hammer jump right here. There you go. He got it.
Rewarded with a compass. And he has picked up the lamp, so we'll be able to navigate this dark room. navigate it easier, I should say. He most certainly knows how to do this dark room.
Yeah, for sure. Flippers.
Well, Pod keeps on delivering in this version of the logic. And I mean, if you can find the mirror now, you can easily make that catfish into Sora play later on.
The interesting thing about those flippers, though, is that, you know, with sequence breaks, they may not even be required in this particular seed. Because Swamp is a pendant.
Oh my! I'm so sorry, but that hookshot in Palace of Darkness,
Yeah.
what is going on?
That is perfectly fine. That is definitely a third item in Palace of Darkness, so this was definitely a good play by Willard.
I mean, put all of these things together now. With the items that Willard have, combined up with the myths, you have Ice Palace access, you have Dark Death Mountain access, you have potentially Mystery Mire access. Where do you go?
Yeah, if anything, he's kind of unlocked more locations than what PinkKittyRose is unlocked now.
We also got to see the stun price there being 1 bomb.
That's not too bad. That's a good stun prize.
Yeah, no complaints here. Some hesitation there for Willard on where he wants to go. He's gonna activate the flute first.
I think he was thinking, like, for a minute, because he got so many items in Palace of Darkness, he may have forgotten that the flute was one of the items he got. So, like, oh, wait, I have the flute. I can fly up there.
But if the bow is here in Thieves Town, that's really good for Pink.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all just speculation at this point, but 3 major items in Palace of Darkness?
Yeah. So yeah, if PinkKittyRose does find that bow at some point, that will lead her back to the Eastern and Pod area, and she'll be able to get all those items. So, you know, it's still... Even though Willard found a lot, you still really can't say he really has an advantage or the lead right now, because you just don't know how the rest of the items are going to play out as he finds the Fire Rod on the Sick Kid.
From that bottle on the pyramid.
Wow.
So he's gonna go now. He's gonna get the myths. He's gonna clear Skull Woods.
Yes, he is.
It's just working out extremely well for him right now. There really has to be something very valuable in Thieves Town here for Pink. Even then, Willard will get that in due time, but Pink needs to make that trip over to Pyramid Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, she does at this point, definitely. That's 3 items over there and 1 item that'll lead to a 4th item, so a lot of important stuff on that east side.
And it's definitely a gamble from Willard's side to still go for that. Another Crystal Dungeon play that you know you can't beat it and you have to go for a sequence break. Decides to do it, gets 3 major items from it.
Yeah. And it's like you pointed out, like, he changed his routing on the fly, too, because he got that bottle on the pyramid,
no.
which kind of put... Oh.
So, Pink did not check these other item locations in Skull Woods, because Willard just found the book.
Wow.
She is... I don't know why she didn't go back in for those items.
Could have just been thinking that, well, I got 1 important item, that might be it. But unfortunately, yeah, that book could lead to some stuff, so I want to go back for that at some point.
The book and myths in Skull Woods, and then we have Flippers, Hookshot, and Flute in Palace of Darkness. And we had the first gloves in Eastern Palace. Sounds like a dungeon seed in terms of item progression. It's a good thing Pink's got that sword then. just need one more hit to give Pink her first crystal in the seed. But there was nothing in Thieves Town.
Yeah, not really, unfortunately. Does get her first crystal, and that is a 1 crystal lead she does have on Willard right now, but, you know, Willard has just been finding item after item, so... And there he has the Titan's Mitch, which was the 1 item that Pink had over Willard right now, so... I'd say the advantage definitely does shift to Willard right here, just to the sheer volume of items he has.
And the ability to just go into Skullwoods now and then go into Thieves Town will quickly be able to get the crystal lead.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, according to chat right now, like, this is kind of PinkKittyRose's style. She definitely does gamble hard in her randomizer races, which, you know, sometimes can pay off and sometimes cannot. That's just kind of the nature of gambling. Sometimes you can get lucky, skip a bunch of chests you don't need, and end up with all the items you need, but then you also potentially run the risk of skipping a location that has an item you need. And that's just kind of the downfall of this particular strat. But it does, when it works, and when it doesn't, it doesn't.
And leaving Eastern immediately after the gloves to speak to that, and then leaving Skullwoods after getting the mids.
Right.
And then you pick up the red boomerang when you have the blue boomerang already? And she's not going for Smiths? Well, with this decision, then, this would be Pyramid Catfish or Pyramid Ball.
Yeah. So she is going to be going, you know, kind of in the right direction. She will be heading towards that area, which had all the items that Willard just got, which is good for her. But, you know, Willard is kind of in a bit of a
bind.
Yeah.
Only fighter sword, no magic. Hammer's difficult to hit. Oh, wow. Final hammer to actually set up by that spike knockback.
Really nice decisive hit on Mothula right there. Gets his first crystal.
Indeed. Pink's gonna get the bottle, which does lead to Fire Rod. Will she go Catfish or Pod after this? It's a very important decision. I mean, Catfish could still have something. Still looking for some goodies.
That's true, yeah. Catfish is still on the table. Could lead to something.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if we don't need Ether for Meyer, it's just a bow and Kane, right?
I think so. That's what it's looking like right now.
No Mirror for Swamp. No Ice Rod for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Obviously, another sword upgrade, too, would be helpful. But yeah, really just those two are what we're looking for.
And Pink's gonna make the pod play. This is the right call, and she's gonna be very happy with what she finds in here.
Yeah, there is also that very, very small percentage chance that boots might be required for the Ganon's Tower Big Key. But aside from that, yeah, just those 3 items. And Ether if it's required.
Yeah, the boots are always there, but if the Big Key is on the torch, more often than not, the boots are in Ganon's Tower. I have yet to see a required double dip into Ganon's Tower.
Those are always fun to see, though, when that is the case. And especially if it's like a required double dip, too. That's the way the logic can work sometimes, though. Sometimes the logic will just put you in a position where you have to go into Ganon's Tower to get something for Ganon's Tower. Anything's fair game in Rando.
I believe we've had a match this tournament which had a triple dip into Turtle Rock required by the logic. I commentated a match that requires triple dip into Palace of Darkness by logic. So the seeds, this logic can definitely do some mean things to you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like to tell people, if the logic allows it, it's possible for it to happen. So, you know, don't think, oh, that's never going to happen, because in that one case where you're doing a seed, it's going to end up happening.
Such is the nature of anything that is random.
Exactly.
And some players just want to be very methodical and just check everything they can, and some players have their set patterns that they want to do, and some players, they gamble.
Exactly. And you know, this does make me a little bit curious about PinkKittyRose here. Is she gonna do the potion glitch? Looks like she is. Okay, good. So I was gonna say, if she ended up not doing that, there could be a case where she may not be able to get all of the items in here. So I think we got two small keys from back here.
And Willard setting up the God Pixel just gets to walk across. And a successful bottle glitch for Pink as well. But as we saw in both Eastern and Skullwoods for Pink, it's skipping Eastern immediately after the gloves and not getting the book in Skullwoods. She may be leaving the dungeon early here as well.
Mm-hmm.
She has already found the flute. Do notice 2 more items in the back. But on the other hand, comparison to the other 2 dungeons, checking these back areas here can be a bit iffy to go back to later on.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but she fell off the platform when throwing the bomb, but still managed to make it in between the blue pegs, so the orange pegs went down. So that was actually pretty cool to see.
In my eyes, that looked intentional.
Okay.
That she has practiced that in the past.
Probably.
To know the timing of the bomb explosion.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes it's like, oh, this is really cool trick. Nah, it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your routing was incredible. You just found everything. I just forgot I had something, so I had to do this. I sometimes think the players don't take enough credit for the plays that they decide to make.
Okay, it looks like she is continuing, and she will be able to get all the items in here, so that is good for her. Will not leave an item behind.
And Willard almost finish off Thieves Town here. And we'll put them rather equal. It's just, will that book be something of importance?
Yeah, Willard will definitely have his second crystal before Pink will have hers, but you gotta think, that book, while it is an item that could be important, it could also just lead to a giant time sink on Willard's end too, so if he takes that time sink, it could be about even again, so, you know, it's definitely not over by any stretch.
And Pink is done with Palace of Darkness, and Willard is essentially done, as long as he doesn't die here.
And that's 2 fights, though, where he's had hearts, less than 2 hearts on a boss fight.
Pink has the hook shot out. I was gonna say, is that an indicator to going up to Death Mountain, but no, just traverse faster to be able to activate the flute.
Yeah. I love seeing those little world map hookshot optimizations from runners. It's always very cool and very clean to look at.
Definitely, and this will lead itself into checking on Sick Kid, getting the fire rod from that. She can then go straight and do Skullwoods if she feels like doing that. Still has everything available to her up on Death Mountain. Going back into Skullwoods would also be able to give her the book, as I keep on rambling just so that no one can enjoy the anthem. It was definitely not on purpose, I swear.
And there we go. Got the fire rod for PinkKittyRose here, so she is, in terms of items, back on par with what Willard is right now. The only difference is literally that book, and we don't know if that book's going to matter yet or not.
if she is going back into Skull Woods here, then she's gonna kill Mothil and not get an item. That should prompt her to check the other locations.
This is true. This is very true.
And Willard does not want the red boomerang, says no to that.
And he's going to be rescuing the blacksmith now. Or, nope. Digging game first.
Yep, quick digging. He hasn't done this. He hasn't done Old Stumpy as well.
He's going to be happy with that 2-dig heart piece, so...
Yep.
Happy that he doesn't have to waste too much time on it anyway. I mean, sure, he'd rather want another item, but, like, you know...
The thing is that it doesn't really matter because chances are both players will do the digging game. So in terms of saving time on your opponent, it's pretty relevant.
Right.
It's rare to see like 30-35 minute go mode.
Mm-hmm.
And Willard is gonna take this frog off on this tour.
And PinkKittyRose is going on a tour of the back of Skull Woods.
Not really preserving the magic here. Is Willard now gonna make the visit up to Death Mountain? No, he's going... Oh yeah, he's gonna deliver in the Smith, but will he then make that visit up to Death Mountain? He does have the chest, but there's a long way to walk to get to that chest.
He could just use the flute, though, to kind of make the trip about half the distance.
Oh, he still has to go into Dark... Wow,
wow. That was really nice hammer strats by Pink there. Oh, it's just a green rupee from the Smiths.
That was definitely one of the best Mothilla fights I've seen this tournament.
Oh, for sure, that was over like in a few seconds.
Well, we're over to the desert area, since the area capacity upgrade. Has the book, and will make the trip into desert. And this is a green pendant, but maybe just finding out if it's boots locked or not could be some valuable information.
Yeah, this is true.
If it is boots locked, means no boots on pedestal if you want to go get really cheeky with that torch in Ganon's tower. Pink has to walk all the way back here through Skull Woods.
We only have a small key, so we're going to be continuing on for now in Desert Palace.
Yeah, but we'll need to find the big key over here on the right side. If Willard even decides to see this dungeon through to the end with that green pendant. We'll make the visit back to Eastern Plot at some point, regardless, because there are crystal dungeons. It's still looking for the bow for that.
Blue Cane.
Does put Spy Cave in logic, right?
Yes, it does.
And since the bottle was used, that cane is required for our players in terms of, well, actual hearts in order to go through that.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see what's on this torch right here. It looks like we have just the map, so this is not a boots locked desert at all.
Definitely not, and Pink picks up the book from Skull Woods, and it's once again taking out the hookshot, and 10 arrows. That big chest in desert. Well, now it does look like we will be seeing this Death Mountain play.
I wonder if she's going to check out... Yes, she is. Okay, she hasn't checked the lumberjack tree yet, so that's why she's checking this first.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, isn't it faster to just flute up to Death Mountain?
Yeah, it would have been, for sure.
We do know that it's only 100 rupees there. This is not an AGA 1 seed. clue this out. Will we see the Death Mountain play?
Yes, we are. So you see, if Lanmola doesn't give us a progression item, and if the green pendant also doesn't really pay off, PinkKittyRose could technically be in a slight lead in terms of progression. It's just, again, randomizer in a nutshell. Like, just kind of leaving some checks alone and checking other things could really just kind of change the lead in an instant.
Such is the life of the randomizer. And there are so many items up here that you can check. You have everything you need. Those rupees you don't really need, but sure.
Yeah, I think the one thing we couldn't check, like aside from Turtle Rock, obviously, would be we can't get the floating island treasure, and we can't quite get what's on the ether tablet just yet. But for all we know, we could find a sword up here, no problem.
Well, Molas is down for Willard, but that's green pendant. He has not checked the Gina's cave, right?
No. He has not checked it yet.
It is very likely he's gonna do that and get his nothing. Yeah, the bomb is already out, so it's a Gina's cave. Twin 20 rupees. We're just sitting here waiting for some important item to happen and possibly the screen pendant delivery.
Hello, Bo.
I think I just did that thing again where I say something and then an item pops up.
Yeah, I think you did, but that's fine.
Well, unless the mirror is in a rather convenient location, as to speak, that's a forced double dip into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the bow will lead Pink back to Eastern Palace of Darkness. Can't quite remember if there are any items left there, but it is 2 crystals.
She is going to go over here to the Tower of Hera first, though. It is another crystal dungeon. 2 items in here. And, PinkKittyRose is in a position where, if she does happen to find Kana Samaria, may not have to worry about really checking Turtle Rock, because at that point she'll be missing just a sword upgrade, and there's 3 of those that can be found anywhere in the world, so may not be super tempted to check a lot of other locations.
Well, it is Quake for Meyer, so no ether. Also, Willard did trade in that green pendant for a green rupee.
Well then.
And Kane cannot be on pedestal. So Ped is dead, unless it's Boots.
Yeah, unless Boots are somehow required for Ganon's Tower, then there's that 5% chance that it could be a required Ped seed for the Boots, but
there's ether
highly
anyway.
unlikely. Yeah.
Willard heading up to Death Mountain.
Willard also found the ice rod as well inside the mire area, so...
Oh, the mire shed.
Yeah, the mire shed.
Well, unless that Turtle Rock play is Turtle Rock for Boots, I mean...
Yeah.
The one item they don't want to see is the mirror, because of that swamp.
Yeah, mirror is definitely something you do not want to see whatsoever at this point.
Well, with all that said and done, we're just looking for the Cane of Samaria and that 5% boots, and a sword. But when it comes to sword and boots, you can just you roll with it. You figure I'm gonna find a sword at some point anyway, and the boots are like, I don't care.
Yeah, there's so many items in Ganon's Tower, and you got to think that, well, there's got to be a sword upgrade in here at some point. It's usually a safe bet. Of course, whenever you say that, it ends up not being a sword at all in there, but that's, again, just the way Randomizer goes sometimes.
And the small key is locked in the basement of Tower of Hera.
Ooh, okay, well that's good. I'll have to check that then.
Ooh, Spy Cave, Spy Cave. It's an important location here because Willard is the only one that can actually check this with their current life setup.
Yep. PinkKittyRose gonna have to be going down the other side to check out Spiral Cave.
And then we'll make the trip into Dark Death Mountain. And, well, there's
Ooh.
another ferry, and it's a pretty nice safety item to have. Really what you're looking for.
It's like, well, you used a lot of your health, used almost all your magic to get here. Here, you might die on the way back.
Yep. I'll certainly agree with that one. But it's very rare that the players actually leave Spy Cave the intended way.
Yeah. Just because the old man respawn is not too far away.
And Spy Cave itself doesn't really lead to any item locations. It's just kind of...
Just there.
Yep, just there. Willard's gonna get the bow, so we're gonna see our visit here on Dark Death Mountain. It doesn't matter which medallion is required for Turtle Rock, because at this point, unless the boots are in there, we're not gonna have to go there.
That's right. We do not have Canis Amaria, so we cannot even... Really, we can set foot in there, but we're not going to be able to move past that first room, so I'm not going to be able to check anything inside there until we get Kane, and by that point, we might already be in go mode.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Still, I mean, they don't have that many hearts if we're gonna start talking about go mode.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for Pink not having that added fairy, 7 additional hearts, backup safety item, yada yada yada. She's not very durable even with that blue mail. Oh, never mind. Now we're moving into the double digits. Oh!
Kane!
Well, well, well.
Okay.
I think you just go mode all the crystal dungeons right now.
I think so too. Yeah.
And for Pink, you start by flying to Meyer to check which medallion. It doesn't matter, you have all medallions. What am I talking about?
Yeah, Meyer is definitely where I think she's going to be going next. She needs to find out now. Actually, going to
potion.
Good call. Good call. I respect that play.
Yeah, this is just clear indicator that it's going to be a go mode from here on out. Just rushing down the bosses as fast as possible, hoping to find a sword along the way.
Okay, she just wanted to see what was up there first. And Mystery Mire is also a nice one to start with, too, because for the most part, if it's a buried big key, you'll get both items from Mire anyway. So you might happen to chance upon that sword upgrade in the process.
Most certainly. Pink's still checking some generally close items, likely trying to find that sword.
Yeah, that's what she's going for right now, I imagine.
So, still no mirror, but we do know double dip Eastern Palace required, depending on mirror location, but extremely likely Palace of Darkness double dip required as well. It does seem like the seed has been somewhat straightforward if we look at the items, but when you think about it, a lot of that was in Palace of Darkness.
That's true, and like, you know, one of the items we got in Palace of Darkness may not be required at all. Those flippers, like, you can fake flipper in the Ice Palace, no problem. So those flippers, and they didn't even really check any flippers locations anyway, so.
No, it looks like players will not be ripped off by Sora here. Willard picks up crystal number 3. We'll need to make the trip over to Hookshot Cave and get that cane. It's still a very close race if Willard just heads on straight over there right now. Oh. Yeah, that's one item they didn't want to see. Because of the possibility of the swords being in places like Swamp, K45, Bombo's Tablet, Graveyard Ledge,
Yeah.
Mimic Cave. Ew,
Yeah.
going to Fertile Rock to find sword upgrades. That sounds awful.
That's not how I want to spend the day before Independence Day, that's for sure. Well, United States Independence Day, anyway.
Well, I'm happy being independent from the independent. That doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, the thing still has to go through Meyer here.
Yeah.
I found one item. We'll have to find the big key. And the thing with okay, there's a second item, but the thing with go moding Meyer is that it's really difficult to, because the big key could be, well, anywhere. So if you decide to make the play to go mode Meyer, it doesn't really matter that much in some situations, because you never know where that big key is gonna be.
That's very true. Yeah, because that's just the way Misery Mire is. You just don't know where that key is going to be, and you're going to be searching a lot of locations, and may turn up with those 2 items before you even get to that point.
You're just very happy to not have to go through the cutscene?
One good advantage of that mirror, though, is that it will make getting from Palace of Darkness to Eastern a lot faster, so be able to mirror straight from the ending of Palace of Darkness to get to Eastern. So that is kind of good for that.
Yeah, if Willard's gonna decide to do Meyer later, he's gonna lose out some time there.
That's actually a good point, because yeah, he knows what the medallion is for Meyer already, so he may not choose to go there first.
And, well, regardless, he still has all 3 medallions anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a pretty important flute destination here for Willard. But
no.
He is gonna go to the Meyer area as well.
Yeah, probably for the same reason that we were talking about earlier, since it is a pretty straightforward dungeon. You're going to be looking for the big key in a lot of places. You'll probably find both items along the way, so that makes sense to come here first. Chat also pointed out that Willard did not open the last chest in Hookshot Cave, which, didn't have anything, but still, it is one less item that he'll check over PinkKittyRose, and if that was a sword upgrade, that could have put him in a big issue.
I do remember a race from last year's spring tournament, I believe, where sword upgrade was in Mimic Cave, and that ended up being a defining item location.
Mm-hmm.
And Silver Arrows, Vitreous, not all that much to say here, but the swords can definitely be in some truly awful locations.
Yeah, definitely.
But once they find that one sword, preferably will want 2, it's just get the seed over with at this point.
Right. That's the thing about the swords, though. Like, as soon as you get one sword, the other upgrades can pretty much be anywhere, except maybe, like, Master Sword does block the tablets, and of course a possible Aghanim access, but those sword upgrades can be anywhere, so they can all be in Ganon's Tower. None of them could be in Ganon's Tower, and they could be like one in each individual pendant dungeon. That's just the way that, again, Randomizer could work.
Yeah. And Pink is gonna leave Ice Palace for last.
Yeah, it makes sense. Willard
Oh,
takes a death, but he
has
does
a
have that
fairy.
fairy.
Yeah, so it's fine, but there's that safety down the drain, that advantage from Spy Cave done.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like going into Ganon's Tower with 11 hearts, blue mail, no powder, no bottles, no invulnerability item?
For me, as soon as I get to that second row of hearts, even if it's just one heart on the second row, I feel pretty comfortable. If it's anything less than that, yeah, I'm definitely freaking out. It's like, I hope I find some safeties or some hearts in Ganon's Tower, because I don't really want to be here.
Oh, Pink did fill up that bottle, so it does have that backup blue potion. Willard does not have anything like that, but does have that Cane of Burna. Also turns out that book didn't matter. Because even if there is something on Bobo's tablet, unless that is boots, they're not gonna check that, because if it's just sword, they will find a sword elsewhere.
And Willard is actually going to the cutscene room, so he did not find the big key as early as Pink did, so going to lose a little bit of time here.
Yeah, and do know that there's not an item here, so it's just pure crap here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he found the second item, the blue rupee, that was north of here. So all the items are accounted for in Mire.
Yeah, this cutscene is so long.
The funny thing is I believe it's the same length as all the other cutscenes. You just don't think it is because you can't see what's happening.
Yeah, I think it's like 17, 18 seconds or so.
Something like that.
And that's a lot of time when you're in this situation.
PinkKittyRose starting the fight against Helmasaur here.
And we'll need 17 hits with a hammer on phase 1 and then just one silver arrow. And Helmasaur King goes down as Willard now finds that big key. And Willard did not prematurely flip that switch, so he has to make this long trip over.
Yeah, that's right.
There's some interesting routing there again from Pink, just setting up that switch in case the big key was there. Mire is just very weird when it comes to routing in that sense.
Yeah. Really depends on when that big key is going to end up.
Oh, we're back again in Eastern here for Pink.
Pink does have to actually go through a bit of this because she did leave early, does not have the big key yet, and I believe it's a vanilla big key, so she is going to have to go to the dark room. So Willard will make up a little bit of time when he goes to Eastern.
Yeah, that is true. Pink did bail after finding the power gloves. So I guess this is the time made up by watching the cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you then have Eastern down, Ice is left. There aren't that many easy item locations you can check in Ice. It's basically just the first one. So it's essentially all eggs in that Ganon's Tower basket.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Willard could decide to head on over to ice right now, but since it did find that mirror, going eastern pot first feels like the better idea.
Yeah. And if you end up with an item or a sword upgrade, it would give you a potentially a bit of a safer cold stair fight.
I mean, we're just waiting for these crystals to be finished off right now and seeing where is that sword.
And at this point, like, I mean, we haven't taken a look at anything really in Swamp Palace or Turtle Rock, and that's like, if you count Mimic Cave, that's like 6 locations for both dungeons. So there could very well be something on there, and we don't know what's on the pedestal yet either. There could be a pedestal sword.
The pedestal sword is not going to be needed. It's that pedestal includes, because we do know that the Ether Tablet is an arrow capacity upgrade, I believe.
Yes, yeah. Oh, wait, what'd you say again?
Arrow capacity upgrade Ether Tablet.
Yes, that's correct.
We still do have Ice Palace, 3 items there. And after that, you have Pyramid Fairy and Logic, that's 2 more items. You have the entire graveyard area, so to speak, graveyard ledges there. K45 as mentioned. Sora, Hobo? Do you check Hobo right now?
I don't know. Looks like Pink is going straight for Ice Palace.
And this ice has been open for quite some time because of getting those early flippers, early mids, somewhat early, I guess you should say, but also Fire Rod and Mombos.
Yeah. Ice has been available for a while. With how Pink has been playing this, though, I don't see her checking very many chests in here. And you know, it can be pretty time-consuming getting all the chests in here, too, so may just have to open this one, maybe the one in the Ice Golem room, and after that, probably just going straight to Cold Stair.
Yeah, and that big heart is not the worst thing you can get at this point.
Definitely not.
Willard's time for Helmasaur King as Pink's gonna head down into Ice Palace. And also a great fight for Willard, essentially identical as Pink.
Yeah, I like that he kind of got the silver arrow out early, just as the mask was breaking, just so he could kind of get that shot in before Helmasaur had a chance to move. Having a little trouble with the bomb jump here.
And it's important to get this if you want to go mode it really quickly. Pink does manage to get over as Willard is now making the trip in back, I should say, into Eastern.
His trip back will definitely be a lot faster because he's done so much more than what Pink did on her first go, so he'll be able to just walk straight to the end. We'll get a little bit of time back. I could probably see him being... And it'll be about equal, I think. Maybe Pink a little bit in front, but they should be finishing their bosses around the same time.
Boots!
Boots!
Well, that kills the pedestal.
Yeah, pedestal is no longer going to be a thing.
I'm still looking for that sword. And that opens up Bonk Rocks and the King's Tome as well.
I could see those being like some of the first checks, maybe once you finish Ganon's Tower, and if you don't find a sword up there, it's like, okay, let's just very quickly bonk in the bonk rocks and then the King's Tomb.
Yeah, they're so close to the sanctuary. You may... Do you check those first, or do you head into the Dark World so you can set up Graveyard Ledge as well?
I mean, that's probably a better idea too, honestly.
I mean, it's difficult because you're just looking for one item, so do you maximize the number of item locations in a short amount of time, or do you just maximize getting to an item location as fast as possible? We still have Catfish.
Yeah, that's true.
And Pink handled that fighter sword cost there really well with the hammer.
Very well, and yeah, both runners finishing their bosses at approximately the same time. Willard just a little bit ahead, but he still has all of Ice Palace to go. Meanwhile, PinkKittyRose, depending on where her flute location is going to end up being, we will probably be starting up a certain game in a second. Let's just verify where she's going.
Mountain Cave.
Okay, let's go ahead and start this. There is a game we generally like to play. Did it get started?
Yeah, it is started. Go, go, go.
Okay. There are 22 item locations in Ganon's Tower which could have the big key. You guys are trying to guess which location that big key is going to be at. 1 through 22. Get your selections in. The bot appears to be down, though, so we'll play for fun anyway. We'll play for fun anyway.
Well, since bot is down, you can write 2 numbers. 1 for the big key and 1 for the sword.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's twice the fun for the entire family. Especially now so close to the independent from independent day.
I like what people are saying in chat. Today we all guesses equals. I see a lot of people saying no sword in Ganon's Tower. Interesting.
Well, it is definitely possible.
Yeah.
But you still go through the entire gauntlet with Fighter Sword, right?
Yeah.
It sounds pretty rough, but also no half magic, so you can't just freely use those fire rods shots with all those silver arrows, though.
Yeah, we have a lot of silvers, so Gauntlet shouldn't be too bad.
Straight left.
Pink going straight left here. Seeing what's on that torch. Bombs.
How have they not exploded?
I don't know. Ganon likes to live life on the edge, I guess.
Is that also why he likes to keep the mushroom there?
Yes.
There is that slim possibility here that, or risk, just the mushroom, that Willard will not pick up the boots here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I did that thing again about an item.
Yeah, you did, but that's fine.
But Dark Magician straps?
Looks like it, yeah.
I'm just saying something to testify my live.
Yeah, we seem to have lost access to the stream, but it'll be back up shortly, so do not worry. So it looks like we're still looking for a sword.
That does seem to be the case.
And still no big key either, so...
There's still a lot of potential item locations left to check here.
There's
there
the
we
big
go.
key.
Still have to go ahead and do ISAR most. Needs to find that sword.
And we also might be seeing a very rare check in this randomizer. Going to be checking probably the big chest.
That was a very quick ISAR most, and well, that's a shield. That's not the sword.
It looks like Willard's going to be entering Ganon's Tower under the same stipulation here, so both runners are going to be looking for that sword upgrade in Ganon's Tower.
The legendary big chest of Ganon's Tower. No. So, when was the last time you saw a fighter sword gauntlet?
It's been a while. I know it's definitely happened, but like, yeah, it's been a while since I've personally seen it. I remember seeing it a lot in the Key Sanity tournament.
Yeah, and Willard actually went back into Hookshot Cave to check that one chest. It also does look like Pink is skipping out on Tile Room for now. I really can't blame her for that.
Yeah, no one likes doing Tile Room at all. For all we know, there really could be a sword upgrade there.
I do know that there's been a match this tournament where Tile Room had bow.
I remember that one. Yep.
I'm sorry for making you remember that.
It's okay. It happens.
Well, Willard went right, find the small key, and then go left. And when you are only sitting on fighter sword, you have to be a bit creative with your weaponry.
Yeah, definitely. I liked her strats in that room in particular because she hit both of the horsehead enemies with just a dash, which normally wouldn't kill them, but it actually pushed them into the spikes, which will do the full damage and kill them. So that was actually really nice.
And nice silver arrows here on Lanmolas, and as we can also see, Pink found 4 heart containers in Ganon's Tower. Possibly some regular heart pieces filled one up, but still lots of love from Ganon.
I think it was only 3 that she found. She got a heart container that Willard didn't get in Ice Palace.
Oh yeah, that Ice Palace. And this is such a weird feeling, weird situation to be in as you're going through Gauntlet but still not in go mode.
Yeah, I know.
And there aren't that many chests left up here.
Just 4, yeah. We just have the 2 Helma Sword chests, the chest in the Peg Room, and then Trolldorm 2's chest as well, so not a whole lot left.
And Pink actually skipping picking up the big magic and just using the lamp very carefully and not even bonking the wall, playing very risky as to save time and magic.
Cape, ooh, that's really nice.
Yeah, if you have the magic for it. We do know Bumper Cave does not have a sword. So 2 more chests are available. Also managed to find the powder in here, and only 1 chest left now. And if this chest does not have it, do you go back to Tile Room? Well, you'll be taken to the Pyramid. Do you go Pyramid Ferry first?
I don't know. I feel like there's some slightly faster locations to check, but that could be an option.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have the double dip Ganon's Tower.
Maybe. Because the thing is, there could be a sword upgrade in Tile Room, but there's also 2 others. It's like somewhere else.
Will Willard do Tile Room? I mean, I'm not blaming anyone for skipping out on Tile Room.
No, definitely not. I think that was just a double, though.
Yeah, it did look that way. It's still a good pattern.
That pattern, unfortunately, didn't exactly work out for her, but this looks okay. Just a single, though.
Yeah, blue balls. And you know, this could have been a pretty good sub 130 seed if the swords have just aligned, but of course not.
Yeah, I mean, it could still be sub 130 depending on how fast we find it, But yeah, there we go. Ganon is unlocked, but we have no means to actually beat him right now. We need to look for that final sword upgrade, or at least 1 sword upgrade.
So where do you go first? Well, you don't go Ganon. Pink has not been on the Pyramid.
Yeah.
Or no, she has. My bad. Is this Catfish or Pyramid Fairy?
I think this is Catfish, and you know what? This is actually a good idea, because after she checks Catfish, she can mirror check Waterfall Fairy and the Zora area, so this is actually a really good first check.
And she picked up the mushroom.
Or not.
Graveyard Ledge, Bonk Rocks, and King's Tome, and then you can head east.
Okay, that works too. That definitely works as well. She's making a lot of close proximity checks, which is good.
Anything to avoid that Swamp Palace at this point, and Turtle Rock. This was actually the item location that won her recent match by finding the King of Samaria in here.
Well, let's see if it's a sword today. Ooh, shaped kind of like a sword, but not quite what we're looking for.
Sadly, you cannot poke enemies with arrows.
No.
Well, at this point, I mean, it looks like Willard is behind, but depending on where that sword is, he may not actually be behind.
It's true.
Was the king buried with a sword? You know, kings tend to be buried with a sword. And it is!
He is buried with a sword!
And that is go mode for PinkKittyRose.
And yeah, I think, at this point, like, even though finding Tempered would be faster, at this point you go straight to Ganon. You want to close this out.
Yeah. So I do want to apologize earlier when I said that, oh, double dip Ganon's tower. No, I was just getting excited there over the moment. At the moment, it's just finding a sword for Ganon. The thing
Yeah.
is that you do Ganon's tower and then you head straight into Ganon. This is like, it's not a double dip, but it's like 1.5 or something like that.
Right.
I will still master sword. Not the easiest thing in the world for these first 2 phases.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't just like stab again with the sword. You have to do sword spins to actually do damage here, which, as you can see, definitely takes quite a bit of time. So we'll be seeing a couple of these trident throws from Ganon.
Well, unfortunately, not getting that double spin there of the trident.
Does get 2 doubles right there, though. That'll speed it up tremendously.
Willard trying to slash his way through this gauntlet room and a lot of difficulties with it.
And Pink is on the phase 2.
And this is a tough phase to get through. Oh, it's an extremely unfortunate hit there by the bat. It is taking out the cape, does have the blue potion.
Yeah, and see, that blue potion definitely came back to help her tremendously, so I bet she's really glad she picked that up. And we are on to phase 3.
Just a few more slashes to get into phase 4. Once Ganon stops teleporting. Of course, the arrows found in escape.
Ooh, almost. Just one more.
The
There we
fourth
go.
and final shot as PinkKittyRose will take this first match in this best of 3. Good game, well played.
Yeah, definitely get your GGs in chat. Very nicely done by PinkKittyRose. And you know, it was interesting because for a while there we were actually really concerned that she would not make that pod play and miss out on all those items, but went into there not too long after, and from straight there found the rest of the items she needed to essentially go mode the rest of the seed until that sword, and did a great job of finishing out this race.
Absolutely, and she finishes with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, 36 seconds. I still have to wait and see when and how Willard's gonna find his sword, but considering King's Tome is so close, I don't think it's gonna take too long.
Yeah, I don't think it will be either. Heck, you could always just find a different route. Maybe go to that Zora area early and find a sword upgrade there for all we know.
Yeah, where were those 2 other swords? And questions we ask and will not be answered. Very likely.
Go ahead and take a look at Willard's Aghanim 2 fight now. Having a bit of a better start than what Pink had.
Did also see Sora just having life lessons.
So, the fungus also led to some more health.
It could still have been a sword in the Sora region, just not from the king.
Yeah, it could have been on the ledge. It could have been in the waterfall fairy caves. Could have even been on Catfish in the Dark World.
Yeah, where will Willard go from here? Where will you go?
Saving and quitting, but you know, if he goes to Sanctuary, then he'll be heading right towards there. But oh, he might be doing Pyramid Fairy. Oh no, he went to Sanctuary. I thought it said it has house, but I guess not.
Well, he has the mirror out. Don't really know why now, but I mean, it's gonna be his first item location to check here, and it's gonna be the sword.
Yep, there he goes.
Well, I see that can be described as Palace of Darkness is a good play to make, and the sword can be anywhere.
Willard, where are you going?
You haven't done Aga 1, you can't take that path.
Willard.
Oh, a bottle on the pedestal.
Interesting.
I mean, the bottle did give Fire Rod. But you would need a Fire Rod to beat Turtle Rock, so yeah, rip pedestal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there may be a small bit of tiltedness going on here, which is completely understandable. It's really, when you get a really fast go mode of that nature and you feel very confident of a sword upgrade being in Ganon's Tower, you just think, oh, this shouldn't be too bad, but then you don't get the sword upgrade, and it can be really frustrating, I'm sure.
And Willard making the earlier Palace of Darkness play, getting the book faster in Scald Woods, he had the items earlier.
He did, yeah. If anything, kind of gambling that the book was not going to be needed is what really kind of helped PinkKittyRose here. And you know, it's part of her strategy, and it worked very well in this seed to a large extent because she was able to kind of get the remaining items she needed and just kind of go straight to the end. And even though she did miss out on those 3 items for a while and potentially missed out on the book, which didn't lead to anything, still was able to kind of convert what she did find into the victory, which is, you know, definitely a very viable skill when you use it correctly.
Absolutely, and for Willard, this play into Desert Palace just took too much time and didn't give him anything at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't really call it a bad decision because it's the green pendant and you knew you had to go back to Eastern Pod at some point because there were crystals.
Right. You can't really call, very many things in Randomizer bad decisions. It's either the right decision or the wrong decision, and that varies from seed to seed. There's never going to be one constant wrong decision because in another seed it could be completely correct.
As stated, such is the life of the randomizer.
Exactly. Anyway, chat very quickly asking about a Game 2. Game 2 will not be happening tonight, but it will be happening tomorrow at the same exact time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Come back tomorrow if you want to see the continuation of this series as Willard finishes up the final hit on Ganon and completes his race.
And with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, 43 seconds.
Now, we have actually not heard anything from PinkKittyRose, and Not sure if there's... Okay, it looks like Willard did join the setup room, so we can go ahead and get him in here. Okay, we actually have both runners here with us. Congratulations, PinkKittyRose, on your win. Willard, good effort, man. Good luck to you on the following race. How are you both feeling after all of
that? You want to go first or me?
You can go first, since you start talking.
Okay. Nothing drives me a bit more crazy than sword go mode, especially when there's no swords in GT, and you're like sweating the entire time of, oh god, I hope there wasn't one in an easy position that he checked for me! Yeah, it was really nice otherwise, minus some back and forth, and I feel like there was a whole bunch of minor routing things that I did that didn't quite work, but it still turned out fine.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch this race because I felt like my early routing was really good. And then after Thieves Town is when it all went downhill. And I'm like, I got a book. Let's follow that book. That was a mistake. And went and did like Desert, Agana, Spike Cave. And then I think just putting Death Mountain off for a long time was definitely what hurt me the most in this seed. But Pod was nice, even though you could have done it in one go, but...
well, no, you need the hook shot out of the back of Pod to get the bow.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind. Well, where...
Well,
hold on.
Well, the big difference was
You're right,
actually
you're right.
that book with that Desert Palace play.
Yeah.
I mean, that and my gosh, I haven't done like a Fighter Sword GT in a long time, so I've been very fortunate this tournament that this is only the second time out of my 10 races where I've had like Master Sword for Go mode. First one being my second race in the Swiss tournament, or the Swiss round. So I just thought it was funny that the one chest that I checked in Ice Palace had the boots. Of course, I was thinking about the torch in GT as opposed to like, oh, I'll check King's Tomb on the way up, because who would do that? That's goofy.
I thought about it, but I'm just like, but there's so many chests in GT. Surely there's one there.
Right. There's gotta be. I mean, you gotta be thinking, all right, well, T-Rock and Swamp Bean pendants and that we're not going into, there's gotta be at least a sword in each of them, especially with how many items they have. But with GT, I mean, there's so many chances for it being in there. You'd be foolish to go check extra stuff, even though I did check extra stuff on my way up to GT, but you'd be silly.
Yeah, and then it just has nothing, and your eyes are like popping out of your head of, oh god, oh no. But the entire world is open. Where's a sword?
Right. I also did the bad thing of like I usually minimize IRC once I enter GT or once I go up the gauntlet, because seeing a player finish obviously affects my abilities, and my execution throughout all of GT, it was terrible. It was pretty bad. But overall, I thought I performed really well, and I have no complaints about this seed or my performance. I thought I just made the wrong choices midway through the race, and that's what cost me a bunch of time. That's about it.
I was definitely happy with my execution overall as well, especially the Hammer Moth fight. That went so good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, your Mothula fight was incredible. Like he was gone in like 2 seconds, it seemed like. You dominated that fight.
It's like, take it, Moth. Everybody hates you, and so do I. You deserve being crushed.
But yeah, you pretty much painted the picture for how this race went, Willard. Yeah, your beginning was absolutely incredible, and we were wondering, like, as soon as you got that bottle on the pyramid, did that kind of affect your routing there? Did you think, oh, okay, we have a bottle, maybe I can do the potion glitch and pod, and maybe fully check that? Did that kind of have any kind of leeway on your decision there?
I was already planning on going Hype Cave pod. But getting the bottle like sealed it. I'm like, yep, that's where I'm going. That's what I'm gonna do next. I'm just really bummed because when I finally got mitts out of Skull Woods, I was like, perfect. Now I can go do Death Mountain and do all of it. And I was like, let me just go ahead and do Thieves Town. And then you're right there. There's like the Bombable Hut, and there's Digging Game. Yeah. There's all these little overworld spots. You're like, I can't not check those. And then I don't know. And I don't know why I went to Desert. Because like I felt like I was ahead, or I had made good enough I didn't really need to make any kind of wacky plays or something like Desert, which is a pretty wacky play. So I don't know, getting into my own head is the problem. But
yeah, but like, man, we were like so like just amazed at just like your early play, because yeah, you got those 3 items in Palace of Darkness, the bottle which led to the fire rod, and then you went straight up to Skull Woods. Pink went to Skull Woods as her first Dark World check, and you know she got the Titan's mitts, but because of all the items you found, and then you immediately went to Skull Woods when you went over to that side, so you got the Titan's mitt too. So it's like the only significant thing that she had over you, like you had as well. So you were in really good shape, but then kind of checking the Smith's chain, and then of course Desert and everything like that did kind of waste a little bit of time. And then during that time, that's when Pink went over to Palace of Darkness, got her items, and then yeah, she made the play right up the Death Mountain right after that. So kind of
well, I mean, it made sense. She had already done a bunch of stuff, so.
But yeah, that's pretty much how it went. It was really entertaining to watch it. You know, I'm very confident it could have gone either way, especially at the end, because, you know, who knows where that sword was going to end up being.
Bless RNG for it being at the very first place both of us checked.
Yeah, that was nice. I was like, after I saw the dot down, I was like, all right, if I don't find a sword in GT, I'm just going to forfeit. And I was like, let's at least check one thing. And it was right there. And I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead up the Aga portal that doesn't exist yet. And then, all right, well, that's not right. Let's actually go fight Ganon.
Yeah, we were wondering about that.
I had a couple of derps this run as well. Like, I've gotten so many God Myers lately that it didn't even occur to me that the switch was still flipped the wrong way after the first couple of dark rooms. It's like, oh, right, the blocks. I should probably go fix that.
But yeah, very well done to both of you, and you know, best of luck to both of you. Best of luck to you, Pink, for trying to close up this series tomorrow. Good luck to you, Willard, for trying to force a game 3. It's going to be an entertaining race, I'm sure. So definitely best of luck to you on tomorrow's match.
Thank you.
If it's anything like my last couple of bracket rounds, we will be expecting a game 3. Because it's been all of them so far.
That just means more randomizers for the people.
Okay, so I guess with that, we can start closing this out. So if any of the audience wants to see Game 2 of this, come back tomorrow. Same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't think it has a channel yet, but let me verify that really quickly. Let's see.
Same channel.
Oh, it's good. Yep, same channel tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. So come back if you want to see round 2. And of course, lots of other randomizer races going on as well. So definitely come and join us on any of the Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. And if there's ever a chance we need to use the ALTTP randomizer channels, follow those as well. ALTTP randomizer and ALTTP randomizer 2 through 4. And yeah, come back and watch some more randomizer with us. It's always a blast, and you'll see more exciting, entertaining matches like this one.
I do also believe that we've started to use ALTTP Randomizer 5, so do follow that
is true.
as well.
That's right. I almost forgot about that.
And also shoutouts to our tracker, Merc247, and also to Cyclone for helping out behind the scenes for this race.
Yep, and of course, major thanks to our runners for putting on an amazing show for us today. PinkKittyRose and WillardJBradley. Also give them a follow as well if you want to see more of their stuff. And yeah, I think with that, I am going to sign out and say my last piece here. Thank you for commentating this race with me, Marshavik. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, look forward to seeing you commentate and maybe working with you again in the future.
It's been a pleasure being able to work with you today. And I can only agree and hope to see all of you in the not-too-distant future.
Later, folks.
Good night, everyone.